Haslab. The very mention of the word stirs the most unusual mix of emotions for action figure collectors everywhere. The crowdfunding platform from Hasbro proper has been an endless source of both victory and defeat, elation and frustration for years now. But with the latest Haslab project, has Hasbro finally gotten it right? Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. Jared here, and I welcome you to a very special analysis of the unequivocally successful Haslab G.I. Joe classified H.I.S.S tank campaign and how the G.I. Joe team have laid out the ultimate blueprint for future Haslab success, while the Star Wars team has done the exact opposite. But first, if you haven't subscribed, I'd like to invite you to do so now. It just takes a second and makes all the difference in the vitality of this channel. Liking the video helps us out too and lets us know you want to see more of this type of content. With that out of the way, let's begin. Giving the people what they want. There is no more important aspect of these campaigns than to simply give the fans what they want. Hasbro just needs to listen. Look at any fan group on social media and they're hard to miss. They'll let you know every single time. The H.I.S.S tank proves this beyond the shadow of a doubt. Everyone and their third cousin once removed knows exactly what Haslab vehicle should be the first campaign for classified, and that's the H.I.S.S tank. The H.I.S.S tank is easily the most iconic vehicle in the entire G.I. Joe franchise, and it's what a vast majority of both casual and die-hard fans wanted. Hasbro followed that, and they were rewarded far beyond their humble expectations. Dollar signs. Another aspect of the campaign that Hasbro nailed was the price point. Although there are always numerous fans who feel that the Haslab pricing is outrageously too high, with record highs in inflation and the amount of extras and tier unlocked items, the $299 price tag becomes much more manageable. Simply put, campaigns on Haslab that steer clear of the $500 plus price tag are much more manageable to the average collector. Even the very most fan-requested items like Haslab Transformers Unicron was simply unattainable for many fans, no matter how much they wanted it, and the campaign barely struggled over the finish line with a necessary extension to even make it happen. Compare that to the outrageous success of the Transformers Starsaber campaign for a fraction of the price, and you begin to see the pattern emerge. $150 to $400 seems to be the most manageable for collectors, and the H.I.S.S tank fell into that range perfectly. Stretching the stretch goals. Stretch goals are the energy fueling the hype of any great Haslab campaign, and Hasbro delivered with the H.I.S.S tank in several key ways. First, they delivered on an early bird incentive, which is vital to the early backing of any campaign. This is something that the Ghostbusters Proton Pack team utilized as well to great success. In this case, it was the most coveted of stretch goals, an exclusive figure. Not only that, but it was a figure whose colors would be influenced by the votes of the backers, making this H.I.S.S tactician an even more highly coveted item. Next, Hasbro scaled their goals. In other words, they started small and, well, they got bigger. The first were simple missile racks, and I remember lots of fans showing their dismay at this, but the second were custom pieces that would bring it closer to the original design of the H.I.S.S tank, like an alternate canopy and tread covers. And the third was, yes, an additional figure, a female H.I.S.S gunner, and Pursuit of Cobra styled additional weapons, bringing the qualities of the early bird tier together with the first two tiers. However, before the fourth and, as of the time of recording, final stretch goal was announced, Hasbro indicated they needed a little extra time to finalize it, with a fun Cobra Commander authored post. Theoretically, the team may have scrapped their original humble idea for something far more grandiose, because appearing as concept art, unlike the previous renders we had seen of the other tiers, was a practically Sunbow animation perfect, newly tooled, Mickey Mouse-eared misprint symbol Cobra Commander. Try saying that one 5 times fast. A nod to that infamous initial version. This is Hasbro pulling out every single stop to make this thing special and meet the expectations of the fans. At the time of recording, it's almost hit this final goal, and, well, there's well over a month left. It wouldn't surprise me if the team doesn't have one final trick up their sleeves before this campaign ends. But overall, I'm not sure if I've ever seen better tier rewards. Making it special. Something the many fandoms under the Hasbro umbrella of properties have made clear is that if they're going to participate in a crowdfunding campaign for a huge international company like Hasbro, then the item being offered needs to be something that only feels possible through that delivery method. A giant Galactus or a Sentinel that no store chain could possibly carry that includes light-up features and a multitude of exclusive figures. A gigantic fan-requested Star Wars vehicle. A Japanese-only Transformers character that fans have begged for years that will likely eclipse even the Masterpiece version. A massive, authentic, wearable Proton Pack that the Ghostbusters community has desperately wanted for years. The list goes on. The H.I.S.S tank was perhaps the biggest risk in this category, because H.I.S.S tanks are always something that folks could just buy at brick and mortar, but that was for the 3 3/4 bare bones versions, often just retooled from the original from well over 30 years ago. For this to stand out, Hasbro pulled out every imaginable stop. Numerous lighting modes, including a projectable Cobra logo, actual moving treads and wheels, fully featured interiors and cockpit, opening doors and cargo bay, and even extendable ladders. It's a vehicle that the minutiae of which simply doesn't often happen in modern mass retail. To top it all off with an exclusive H.I.S.S driver figure as the initial offering and 3 unlockable additional figures, and you have a package that has been made absolutely unmissable for collectors of 6-inch G.I. Joe. A solid foundation. The Joe team, who are managing the brand right now, are doing so beautifully, and in the spirit of true service to the fans. Don't get me wrong, I realize that Hasbro is a for-profit company, but the Joe team, who have been put in place, are not only genuine fans who seem absolutely enthralled by their work, they're listening to fans more so than any other team in major commercial toys. Keep in mind that it takes about a year for any kind of feedback to be implemented into lines, but there have been times that they've even beaten this response time. Here's just a few of the many examples. Hasbro completely dropped the Fortnite-esque weapons and colors from the line after fan complaints within just a year. They even went as far as to remake previously released figures to eliminate this aesthetic. They fixed most of the issues surrounding the distribution of exclusives, especially those issues regarding Target, making the figures far easier to attain. They implemented a new O-ring figure and vehicle line after fans voiced their displeasure with the reuse in the retro line. The list goes on and on and on, and the line hasn't even been around that long. The Joe team, whether all fans realize it or not, have worked tirelessly to please the fans and are winning new collectors over into the classified line as the fandom grows. This is a solid foundation to launch any crowdfunding campaign from, and it's indicative of just how dedicated Lenny and the others are to the Joe fandom. Closing thoughts. It's hard to believe that we're living in a time when G.I. Joe campaigns are massively outperforming the often overpriced and sometimes tone-deaf campaigns of the Star Wars teams. Their latest effort, a lightsaber from a brand new character for $500, is both ill-conceived and laughably priced, and with only a few days to go seems destined to fail. The tragic Star Wars Black Series Rancor monster similarly underperformed with the infamous unlockable Bones tier, and Hasbro's refusal to provide fan-demanded characters until it was far too late doomed that campaign, and was a failure whose echoes reverberate into their latest attempt. The H.I.S.S tank campaign has laid out an unimpeachable blueprint for how all future Haslab campaigns should be presented and managed. I only hope Hasbro will learn the right lessons from this extraordinary team who have created the ultimate Haslab project. So now, fanboys, fangirls, and fan people, it's your turn. Let me know down below how you feel about this latest effort from Haslab. Do you think there are a few things that other campaigns could learn from it? I can't wait to read your thoughts below. And be sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe to our small channel so that it can continue to grow. With that being said, God bless you and yours, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever.